Hey guys, Jay here with the new build today. So it is the same character that I have been playing. It's the Falconer, but this time with a new approach. Now I'll show both my hands here. I do not press anything, and we are pretty much having a Auto Bomber. Theoretically, if we do build this character tanky enough, then it should be a AFK build. So if you know me, I love AFK build. So let's run through a Monolith and see how the build playstyle feels like. Yeah, we are currently in Empowered Monolith. This timeline is, I think, 100, maybe just a little bit over 100 corruption. So nothing special. I'm still farming the blessing of the monoliths. I do have a build planner for the complete character, the ideal gear that you can have. Personally, right now I don't even have like a third of those. My weapons are shit. Yeah, still have a lot of upgrade to do. Damage can be so much better. The survivability can also be so much better. And after this run, I will show you a little bit on how I built this character. So basically, in places like this one, where you stand in the middle of everything, you pretty much do not have to dodge anything. Unless you somehow get completely one-shotted by a big hit, then it'll be a... Right, one downside of this build is, your hideout is always like this. Let's run another one actually, and see what do we have in this monolith, and then I go ahead and show you guys the setup that I am currently using. Alright, this is just a bug. Sometime with the aerial assault of the Falconer, sometimes you will just not move and stuck in one place, but that will be for like 3 seconds or so, because then you use the skill again and you will just get out of it. That shouldn't be a problem. So along the monolith, depend on what you like, you can press additional button, but the two core button of the build is the Smoke Bomb and Divebomb are automatically casted. Why do I want those automatically casted? So for Auto Bomber, basically. I don't want to press the skill, I don't want to aim anything. I want just move through the monolith on the way of moving to the objective, the goal of each monolith. I want to not have to worry about anything, do not have to stop for anything, just basically try to stop. So basically this is what we do in this build. If you want, you can press additional button just to make sure it the character doesn't die, because we are not entirely like immoral by any mean, right? That is some good amount of idols. I will sort this out after I show you the character. So first of all, I want to show you guys the skill, and the core of the build is first of all falconry, of course, because this is the bread and butter of the falconer. We do want all the scaling possible with the falconry on the bottom right side of the tree here. I will not go into too much detail. It's pretty straightforward. So basically, this one makes your your character stat applies to your falcon at 75%. The main thing I want to note here is, first of all, Hunter Spoil. It gives a huge amount of sustain. It gains 2 health per attribute. No, it's gain 1 health per 2 attribute. So as you can see here, we have a whole bunch of dexterity here, not even maxed or anything. I still have even 2 rare pieces of gear. So yeah, the gear is not that good whatsoever. right? This one is very, very good, very worth taking. The other stuff mostly is for buffing, so we want to take the mark, and we want to take 1 point here and then 3 points into this one. So we have a bunch of damage buff that applies to a Falcon. Originally it applies to the character, and then it applies to the Falcon, so we have more damage that way. These 5 point for Is It a Bird and Agile Prey also apply globally to Falcon. So how the Falcon works in Falconer in Last Epoch is the Falcon, so all the buff that give more damage to the Falcon will apply to all the skill that use the Falcon, including Divebomb, which is our main skill, and also Aerial Assault. These node over here apply specifically to Falcon Strike, so it only applies to the Falcon Strike, which is the skill that is granted after you summon the Falconry, but all the other bonuses that say apply to Falcon, or your Falcon deal more damage, your Falcon have increased damage, or anything damage applied to Falcon, to minion, all of those apply to your Falcon, hence it increased the damage of all other skill that use the Falcon to cast. And main damaging skill I'm using is Divebomb. So I take all the bottom right side here. So this one is to make the skill almost instant. So whenever it casts, normally without this node, it takes like around probably like half a second before it lands whenever you click it. But with this node, it's pretty much almost instant. So the delay is very, very short. I really like it. Secondly, the on-wing shadows here. I would recommend you to have at least 3 points into this, because normally whenever we cast Smoke Bomb, the total amount of shadow we can generate with a Smoke Bomb is at least 3. So yeah, more shadows, more than it will be more Shadow Falcons, and will be more Divebomb, will be more damage. This one is to generate more Dust Shroud. Dust Shroud, if you don't know what it is a buff that grants you 5% of glancing blow. So with 20 stack, if you can have 20 stack just by the Dust Shroud itself, you will always have 35% reduced damage taken from hits. Given that we don't need to reach 20 stack in this build, we do have additional source of glancing blow as well. But this is pretty easy, because at the end, at the current character here, I have for example, if I stand and fight the boss, I will always stay in a Smoke Bomb area. And in the Smoke Bomb area, if because of the area of this Dive Bomb is pretty big, so it will overlap all the way to the boss, and all the Shadow Falcon will hit the target 5, so that means 15 stacks just from one Dive Bomb cast, and that is pretty much all the time uptime of glancing blow. So that's pretty good. Very, very good defensive players. Dancing Shadow here, so the Shadow Falcon land inside the area of Smoke Bomb, will take off again, so it slam another time after a short delay before diving again nearby enemy to deal damage around them. That is very good. So the Shadow Falcon originally it works like it target your shadow, but then with this node, after it target your shadow, then it all comes up and then it slam onto the enemy, the target. If there's only enemy in the area of the Smoke Bomb, which normally there is when we're fighting bosses, then all of them will just straight up hit the boss, which is a lot of damage. So potentially every Dive Bomb cast, if we have 5 shadows available, then we will have first of all the original hit, and then we have 5 shadows with 5 Shadow Falcons, which is that means a 6 hit, and then we have all those 5 shadows Falcon will take off again and land on the boss for additional 5 hits, so that is a total of 11 hit of Dive Bomb with 1 cast. Currently we are putting it on auto with the Numlock trick, so every 3.6 seconds here Currently, the cooldown of this skill is a little bit bugged, so this doesn't really improve the cooldown. I'm not sure when it will be fixed, but right now it works quite well. If it is fixed, then it can only be better. So there's nothing to worry about there. Cooldown recovery should be really good if it worked properly with the skill. We want to reduce the cooldown as low as possible. Yeah. So yeah, 11 hits per dive bomb. So that is a lot of damage. I take maximum area over here, and I also take the exposed their defense here with crit vulnerability. I try to have as much crit vuln stack on the enemy as possible. This one I believe stack up to 10 times, so technically you don't really need all 3 points here. You can do 2 points, you can do even 1 point, because with, for example, ideally 11 hits, then each of them only need to apply 1 stack in order to have for us to reach 10 stack. However, this is still very good if the shadows, if we do not have enough shadows around by some I'm not even sure, there can be variables in the fight. Sometimes you may not have the ideal amount of shadows, then I still prefer to have the crit vulnerability stacked from here, because it is the only source of crit vulnerability, and it is really good because it applied directly to the Falcon. So there is no mitigation, there is no less multiplier. For example, this one, it apply your crit to the Falcon, but it apply at a reduced rate of only 75%. For example, if you have 20% on your character, only 15% is transferred to your Falcon. So crit vulnerability is very good. I have points, so I will give 3 points here. You can remove 1 or even 2 points from here if you do not have enough level of Divebomb. Should be okay. I do take the path up here, just minimum point in order to get Cloud Gatherer. So the thing Cloud Gatherer do is it pretty much extend the smoke bomb to infinity. I'm not sure if currently it is bugged or it is intended this way, but if it is intended this way, it's kind of ridiculous. Even if it is bugged and then later it is fixed, at this point just become even better, because you want to extend the duration of the smoke bomb. So in a boss fight, we will have a much more uptime of the smoke bomb itself. Right now, theoretically, from what I think, probably each hit of the Shadow Falcon also increase the smoke bomb duration, and they are multiplicative on top of each other, and they are multiplied based on the maximum duration of the smoke bomb here, so it just becomes infinite. This particular smoke bomb has stayed in my hideout for like 5 hours or so. That's just ridiculous. Right, so that is Divebomb. Next one is Area Assault. This is our movement skill. So first of all, I want to have some cooldown and some buff, obviously. So the first thing that I want to mention is Caltrop. So I have 2 sources of Caltrop in this build, which is Net and Area Assault. Why Caltrop? So if you see the description here, Caltrop is actually a throwing attack, and it is your character throw the attack, not the Falcon. Why is this important? Because it helps to trigger the Falconer's mark here. The Falconer mark will only trigger whenever you hit the marked target, and then it will trigger all the buff effect that we have here. So Caltrop is very good. Caltrop is very important. You must take this one. Then we take this one over here. Directly use Area Assault, recover portion of remaining cooldown Falconry and Divebomb. That is very important. Obviously, whenever you use this one, you will reduce the cooldown of Divebomb and then of the Falcon Strike. More damage, just basically more damage. Reduced cooldown is more damage because Divebomb is a cooldown skill. Alright, next one, we go take all the stuff over here, travel here and get all this 3 things over here. So it basically gives you area prowess. This particular stack gives you increased damage, which is then applied to your Falcon, and it also regain a bunch of hit point to your character. So this is an additional source of recovery for your character. Next, we take this point just for more stacks of area prowess. And then we take Terror Wings here, so whenever you use Divebomb, which we always use, it will consume all this stack and give you the bonuses. This 1 point here make the health gain change to word gain. So because in this build I'm currently having a lot of other ways to regain health, and my health, as long as I don't die instantly, would just shoot back up to maximum all the time. So I decided to go and take this point, so it will, you know, sometimes it gives you a bunch of extra word, and the word acts as basically more effective HP. So I think that is better. Alright, the other part, I go up here, I take this one is not important, just a travel point. At least not important to this build. This one is so Wing Burst deal more damage. This one is so Wing Burst always deal more damage to rare and bosses. Basically just more damage, because while we were moving through Monolith, you can see that pretty much all the time we use Wing Burst on cooldown to move and then to kill everything that is on the area that we land. So that is very safe and very effective, very fast. That is good for the playstyle of the build. If I have more level, I would take one in this, and then maybe just maximize this out. I tried out the stuff with the Umbro Blade and then the Umbro Blade stuff over here, but you know, I think that is good for another build where you should scale the Shadow Dagger. I think it should be another build. It should not be like focused on just auto bombing like this one. So that is my choice for aerial assault. Next one is Smoke Bomb. Smoke Bomb is very damn important in this build. What does Smoke Bomb gives? A lot of buff, and because we are having it on autocast, then it, you know, most of the time it does give all the buffs to our character and also all the debuffs to enemy. So the first debuff is slow. We do have other sources of slow as well, but more slow is good. Next one is Armor Shred. This is very strong, and also I have all the notes on the frequency of shredding and slowing the enemies. So every second we should do like 8 stack of Armor Shred if the enemy is within the radius of Smoke Bomb. That is very strong. Last longer. This one is pretty much a travel point. We take it because it is required to reach the other node. But with this, currently the Smoke Bomb lasts forever. So yeah, we don't really need the duration. Just take 2 points for the travel, and then most importantly in this build, grab the Umbral Assault. So we always have 100% chance to create a shadow for every second. Then yeah, that is basically the thing that creates the shadow in this build, and it helps immensely with single target. I do take concealed in Carnage because bleed is nothing to us, but I do like the damage over time taken per Crimson Shroud reduction. So we have 3 stacks, then this is additional 15% of reduced damage taken from damage over time, and that is pretty good. Right, the rest of the points I put into Shroud of Darkness here for glancing blow chance, some dodge, and then of course I get as much this as possible, so the uptime of the Dust Shroud buff is as high as possible. Basically, the last skill is net over here. First of all, it is an additional source of Caltrop, but this part we take at the final stages of the build. The most important stuff is actually on the above side here. So I go through here. 1 point is Strongly Woven to travel to Entangled Weapon, and then this 4 note is absolutely huge for single target. It is a 40% more multiplier to all the damage that the Falcon deals, which is insane. This one make the net cannot be dodged, but it also act as a travel point, so we always throw out the net once it hit the boss, and it will have the debuff for the whole duration of how many seconds here, I'm not even sure. 3 to 5 seconds at random on each enemy, so at least 3 seconds. So sorry, I'm a little bit have a little bit of problem with my throat here. Then we take a tangle wire here, 3 stack on net throw, but mostly just to get to tangle and prone, because enemy cannot dodge, so our damage always hit. Our minions damage always hit as well, and then they have no crit avoidance effectively, so they cannot avoid to be crit whenever they're already netted. I take these 2 points for the fact that I don't like the backflip of the net, so I take this, and our characters stay in one place whenever we throw the net, just like that. Right, so net is my final choice for the last skill. It's not entirely necessary for the build to function, however, with the playstyle I am trying to get, then this skill is the best out of everything else so far for me. I've tried Umbral Blade, I have tried Shift for additional movement skill, but moving around quite fast is faster when you move with Shift, but you lose out on the damage clear of the area assault. So yeah, I also played with Ballista for a while, but Ballista seems a little bit clunky, and also in order to play Ballista I kind of have to invest into more mana over here. Let me try for 1 second to show you guys the mana point over here. It is 98 point of mana, as you can see. So with the Ballista, in order to play Ballista, I pretty much burned all my mana pool trying to summon 2 Ballista. And also if I play Ballista, I have the chest with +1 maximum Ballista, and then it means I have to actually summon 3 Ballista. So that is a lot of mana issues that I don't really want to deal with. Right now with this playstyle, I do not have to worry about mana whatsoever, and that just feels very good. The passive, currently the core passive in the rogue is this area over here. This one, technically, I will be 100% honest here, I'm not even sure if it works the way I think it is, because of the node Falcon. In the Falcon, go for the eyes here. So it's a portion of the highest of your global melee crit chance, throwing crit chance, and bow crit chance now applies to your Falcon. So if it works the way I think it works, then it is the highest of the 3 here, which is the 32% crit chance of melee here. If it works the way I think it is, then it should be 75% of this number, and then applied to the Falcon, not just the base crit chance. For example, we have a 8% base crit chance from this weapon, we have a 4% crit chance, base crit chance on this weapon, not just the base. So I think, I have no way to actually test it effectively. However, after I take this one, I think it is currently working, and this is 12% chance critical strike chance per dagger. Currently I am using 2 daggers, so that is a good amount of crit. But these are also the last 4 points that I take in the build. This is not necessarily need to be taken early on. Just take this point over here if you want to have the same setup as me, because 1 point in Twin Blade is only necessary if you are dual wielding dagger like I do in this build. If you are using a bow, for example, or you are using a two-handed weapon, or a weapon and a shield and an offhand, then you don't need this point. Probably you can go ahead and grab just a random point here or here. This one should be decent, some resistant to dodge. You don't need this one, so yeah. Right, most of the point is going to be in Falconer tree, but I want to mention firstly in Marksman and in Blade Dancer, because in this build, if you read the special bonus of Falconer, you'll see it has +1 Falcon melee damage per 4 dexterity. So for every 4 dexterity we have 1 flat melee damage for Falcon, And then also there are actually quite a lot of stuff that is also scaled with dexterity. The first thing I have in mind for me is the 6 armor per 2 dexterity here, so we want to stack a lot of dex. Let me see. I do think there is something else with dexterity, but long story short, we do have a bunch of things that scale with dexterity, scale with attribute. In here we have Falconer deal more global damage per character level and per point of dexterity, which is why we try to stack a bunch of dexterity as much as possible. Currently, I think I am having reduced attribute because I am in a monolith here. I'm not sure why am I having -2. I've played this game for a long time, but I am not a complete expert in the game whatsoever. But normally I have 100 dexterity currently, so that is 100% more damage, and then that is 25 flat damage. So dexterity is very good, so that is why we want to take as many dexterity from the skill tree as possible. Then the other part is the Falconer skill tree, just basically minion stuff, minion crit, base crit chance here, minion damage. This one is dexterity, this one is just 2 points, so we can have enough point to go for tactician, because this will require 20 points. We get maximum in tactician, we have maximum blast radius for as much AoE as possible. This is dexterity, very nice. This point is very important to make the build feel very smooth, because it changes when you have to stop to cast. Normally, if you have this point, then you actually no longer stop, the character no longer stop to cast Divebomb and Falcon Strike, so you can constantly always move around. The only time that our character currently have to stop is actually to cast the Smoke Bomb, which is on a relatively long cooldown, and the animation is very quick, so pretty much all the time we're just moving. I have 3 points in here for the bonus of health gain on Falcon hit per 3 dex. So that is another like 33 health gain per Falcon hit, and that is any hit. That is the Divebomb hit, that is the Falcon Strike hit, and that is also the Area Assault, and of course also the normal auto attack hit of the Falcon, which happen constantly, so we always have a source of health back. This one is like a double dip point, so it not only increased the crit chance of our character. Why is this very, very, very insanely strong? Because if it works the way that I think it works, then our first our character stat got calculated. So this one here, for example, it is 32% crit chance right now, melee crit chance, and if this then this one 75 of it got converted into the base crit of the falconry through this point. So the base crit of the falconry is 33. That is 24 plus 5 base, I think, and then plus another 5 here, so we have like a 44% base crit chance for the falcon, and then that got increased by 36% of the increased minion crit chance. So that is why we are having a very good crit rate. So far I have seen the crit, and it definitely is around 70% or so. Probably with better gear and of course with better level, then might be we'll reach a point of 100% crit chance for Divebomb for Falcon Strike. Right, next I take this, so for the armor per dex. And then also we have increased armor for each time the Falcon has hit enemy recently, which I believe is the last 4 seconds, the same as in Path of Exile. So this one, it gives a lot of armor because we are stacking a lot of decks. Tailwind here is good because it gives basically 12% damage taken while moving, and 12% move speed, 12% dodge, because the Falcon always hitting something around our character. This is pretty much 100% uptime. I don't understand why they need to put it this way, but yeah, it is this way. Basically, all the time the Falcon is hitting something, because beside the skill of Divebomb, Falconry, and Falcon Strike, it also auto attack. My throat is killing me. Alright, the last is finesse them. Finesse them. Finesse them. Alright, finesse them. So this one, because the crit avoidance. First of all, crit avoidance is very nice. But any extra crit avoidance also got scaled into the Falcon's crit multi, so it's very nice as well. The other even more important stuff is an additional source of health gain on crit, and our Falcon crit all the time. So yeah, whenever your minion crit an enemy, that is the Falcon. Whenever the Falcon crit an enemy, all the skill that we use, all the auto attack that the Falcon is doing on itself is considered a minion hit. And if it crit, which is right now around about 70% of the time as what I'm feeling, there is no stat for me to check there. But yeah, basically if I do not die instantly and there is something around for me to hit, then I'll just instantly shoot up in health. Right. Anything else that I need to talk about? First of all, the idols. So far, I do not really see a good big idol, large idol for the rogue here. So everything, if ideally you would want something with double health like this, or just basically anything with health or vitality. Vitality is pretty much just more health and resistance. This one is the health and armor. So you got the theme here. This is our defensive stat so far. Until I found if there is a good offensive idol over here, I will make sure to upgrade and update in the video and also in the guide. So the idols is very simple currently. For the gear, the actual gear, right now my throat is preventing me from talking comfortably. This weather is terrible in here. So the falconry, the helmets here, except for the fact that it is a rare item, I would obviously want to have a exalted item. Ideally +4 to falconry, which is level 7 exalted mod for level of falconry. Or also, if it is tier 7 dex, this will also be very good. The resistance is fine because we do not have enough resistance. So if life or armor is here, it's also fine as well. Just typical stuff that you want in an item. Same for the chest. Level 2 Divebomb, dexterity, health, and armor. Obviously, the better the health roll, the better the armor roll, the better the Divebomb roll is just better. Percent health is better, but this is the best so far I can have, and I have farmed quite a lot. Circle of Fortune, I am only level 6 right now, but yeah, that's still a lot. I have probably thousands of exalted items dropped already with how crazy the Circle of Fortune is, but this is still the best chest that I can have so far. Right. Next one, this belt, the mana regeneration is pretty much a death mod. We don't need mana regen in this build. It's not like it's doing nothing, but with this current mod, our build doesn't lose mana whatsoever, because the skill that costs most mana is only Falcon Strike, and it is a very long cooldown skill. This one costs a little mana, but it doesn't cast often as well. This one can cost 0 mana if we decided to take 1 additional point into this. Then this can cost 0 mana. But currently I have no mana issue, and I don't think I have any problem without the mana regen here. I would want this belt, but without the mana regeneration. The better mod for this belt, prefixes. Right, prefixes. Let me see. Prefixes. Right, shit. Prefixes. Probably what I want is gonna be for a belt. It's not. That is not good. Let me go ahead and put a belt into here so it will be easier to talk about. Alright, let's put this random belt over here. Alright, so here we have what can we put here? We already have the minion damage, so minion damage is obviously the best one. The other stuff that can be good also, in my opinion, is probably this mod over here, word and element cleansing on potion ills. So it helps whenever we use a potion, it does remove all the negative buff on a character, but it is just something nice. It's not necessary. Maybe mana regen is okay, but we do want better life modifier, we do want better minion damage, we want, you know, something else that is better, not the mana regen. So yeah, cooldown recovery is potentially very good here as well, because we have a lot of cooldown skill, and cooldown recovery basically is more DPS. If it worked correctly with the Divebomb, again, I think the Divebomb is currently very bugged in terms of scaling with cooldown recovery. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. For example, if I do remove this, you see here cooldown 3.6 seconds. It's still 3.6 seconds as I remove this boots over here, and it is 29% cooldown recovery speed. So far, right now, alright, I put it back, it jumped to 4.7 seconds for some reason, and now it go back to 3.6. Maybe it's a lag, but you know, so far right now, it just doesn't work consistently. So keep that in mind. Cooldown recovery is very good if things work correctly. For this ring, critical strike chance and minion damage is probably the best prefixes on ring. The best suffixes is probably life and crit avoidance. We don't worry about if we have extra crit avoidance more than 100%, because we do have this point over here. So that is converted into minion crit multi, and that is very strong. So crit avoidance is, you know, never bad. Basically, we want crit avoidance. Alright, the other ring also, so the base ring, and this base is good, this base is good, and also there is only one other base that is also good, which is the cooldown recovery and attribute base. So if you want to min-max, then these three base ring will be very good for minion damage. This one is probably the best because it has minion damage and minion crit multi. Crit multi is very big, but the cooldown recovery also feels very nice if it works correctly. I think the cooldown recovery would probably be my best choice personally, because it can have up to 2 O attribute as well, which include 2 dexterity. Yeah, I already talked about the ring. Let's talk about the glove. The glove here, this base is probably the best base glove in the game right now, in my opinion. First of all, it has a huge amount of armor, and then it has certain percent of armor applied to maximum of 24%. I have the worst possible roll here, but up to 24% of armor mitigation also applies to damage over time, and that is very good because mitigation against damage over time is very hard to come by. The attribute and the affixes that we want is again minion damage and dexterity for prefixes. This is the theme throughout all the gear here, and then some defensive stat in the suffixes. Life, armor, crit avoidance is good on the glove here. I'm currently using a Weaver's Will relic, it depends on how lucky you are with the roll. So far as you can see here, I am not at all lucky with the Weaver's Wheel stat. So if I have a new one and I get luckier, it will be much better. But the main thing I want here is just one maximum level 2 rope skill, and then also 1 in 6 chance to take 15% less damage per active shadow. We often have a lot of active shadow, especially in boss fight where we always stay in the smoke bomb. And while mapping, even though you might not be near a smoke bomb, but the smoke bomb always go off, and then we always have smoke bomb that generates shadows, so we always have some shadows available, and then we always have some decent chance to take less damage with this Gambit of Erased Rogue. An Erased Rogue. The amulet, I choose Aura Charm Glass because I Rune of Ascendance, actually, not chance. I have Rune of Ascendance, and currently all the Rune of Ascendance I get, I immediately throw it into an amulet because there are many powerful amulet, and this one is one of them. Basically, it's a cheat deck. I really like this amulet. I would just again continue to spam for maybe this one, but with legendary potential, so we can upgrade the gear even further. But the weapon is also a slot that you can spam for a this one, the Talons of Valor. It can potentially has up to 4 level to Falconry, Divebomb, and Aerial Assault. This can be very goddamn insane, especially if you have LP on it and then you slap a good Exalted Bow on it. Maybe this one is a good example. If you have the 2 mod like increased bow damage, which get applied to the minion, because if we use a bow like this, then we probably have this as the highest increased damage type, and then it is applied to the Falcon through the Falcon passive, and also the minion melee damage and minion bow damage. If you have more LP, you can have maybe the minion penetration. There is a, I think this one have it, yeah. Minion physical penetration, because our damage is currently physical with the Falcon, so that is also very good. Base crit chance is also very good. We have a roll on the bow that is base crit chance and attack speed, or also increased crit chance. I do see someone already have a 4 LP perfect Talent of Valor. That is absolutely mind-blowing for me. I'm so jealous about it. But I think with the Circle of Fortune, we have decent chance to actually farm a lot of uniques. Target farm, to be specific. You can target farm a lot of unique bows, and with the higher level of Circle of Fortune, we can have a very great chance to have LP items. I think it is one. Yeah, level 6 is already unique, twice as likely to have legendary potential. So at this point, pretty much all the unique that doesn't have legendary potential, that is not very rare, I will just leave them on the ground, actually. So yeah, these are all the uniques that I picked up before. So yeah, the current the current weapon that I am using are actually 2 daggers. Some, I'm not sure what is the math, but maybe because I have enough effective point in the Falconry, Divebomb, and Aerial Assault, so this bow get outclassed by 2 dagger, and they are not even good dagger. The only thing that is really good in them is just the Exalted mod, that is minion melee and minion bow damage. So it adds quite a lot of flat damage, and then it has some base crit chance that we can then scale with our crit, and then it get applies to the Falcon as well. These are not, for example, this one, the physical penetration mod, is not even tier 5. So these are the best that I can have right now. Obviously, if I go to the let me actually show you guys the build planner. Okay. Alright, let me show you the build planner. I think I have to change something here. Let's get the display capture. Does it work? Chrome. Does Chrome even work? Sorry, I have not worked this out very well. Let me just add another one quickly, basically. Display capture. No, not this one. Oh yeah. Maybe. Alright, I think I got it. This one is good. Alright, we got it. Alright, so I got the ideal setup over here. So let me show you the best possible weapon. This is batshit insane. Not sure if I will ever get it, but let's be optimistic. As you can see here, I will leave the link to this build planner in the video, but you aim for the gear as close to this as possible, basically. This is what I think is the best possible. Right here, as you can see, this is the ancient coin. This is not the rook. Weaver's Wheel Idol, but this can also be very good. This is batshit insane. You know, I mean, you can try to get as close to this as possible. This is pretty min-maxed already. So yeah, I wanted to show you the best stuff, how the best looks like. But the current state of the character works pretty well. For the blessing, I want to take ideally lightning resistant armor here. These two I already have in my character. Increased minion damage. This one I have the lower version, and I'm currently farming to get it to the good version here of the Empowered Monolith. This one it crit avoidance for obvious reason, and this one is flat health. I already have this one, though not a very good roll. Maybe I will farm for it more as well. So yeah, that is basically it. This one is only the only idol that potentially is good offensively for this build. It has a chance for Falcon to deal double damage with Falcon Strike, but it's only with Falcon Strike, so I don't think it's even worth it compared to just using the defensive idols. Potentially this one is probably the best. Right, so that is everything for the build that I'm currently playing, and also the possible upgrade that is currently showing on the screen over here. So thanks for watching. Thanks everyone for watching. And I mean, I have been enjoying Last Epoch for the last few days. It's very, very nice. It is much better compared to before when I played in a beta test. Yeah, see you in the next video. Probably about Last Epoch. I think I will enjoy Last Epoch for quite a while until I come back to PoE. Actually, sorry, PoE viewers, but you know, I can't stop myself. This game currently feels too good to play. I'm not saying that the game is too good. I don't think the game is at the state of being too good, but it is very fun, to say the least. It is very, very damn fun to play, and currently it is very satisfying to play as well. And it just feels nice to figure out new things in a new game, at least for me. So yeah, thanks for watching, and if you like the content, if you like to see more content on PoE, Last Epoch, and for sure later PoE 2 as well, then please leave me a like in this video, and then subscribe to my channel. I am planning on streaming, but there is a couple of problems that I have to solve before I can effectively stream well. The hardware I have worked out, so I have an additional monitor right now, so it is much more comfortable for me in that sense. But the connection is still very problematic. So yeah, I will try to work it out before I can start streaming consistently. And if I do, I will stream consistently every day, at least, except the weekend where my wife and kid is at home. There might be some problem with that. So yeah, stay tuned for more PoE content. Stay tuned for more Last Epoch content, and see you in the next video. Peace.